In this episode, we provide content about providing content. Welcome to episode 13 of AskTheLJs. This isn't Lawrence, he's different. But we do have Lawrence here. And this is, Lawrence could no longer be with us, just for today. He's getting his windscreen fixed. If you remember on a few episodes back, we mentioned about Lawrence's cracked lens. And he said, I don't need to call auto glass. Well, in actual fact, Lawrence did need to call auto glass. And that's why Lawrence...
Not for his glasses, right?
Not for his glasses. So he pretty much jinxed himself and... yeah, poor Lawrence. But we've got a nice deltoid. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi people, my name's Adam. I'm a writer, fitness coach, and I'm a personal trainer. I write mainly over at Physiqonomics.com. So yeah, you can check it out if you want. I'm not going to,
He's being modest, he's the best writer in fitness. Done. Do you know why? Because he's part of SBS Elite. And he's repping it.
Got the little A as well.
But yeah, definitely. Adam was on the podcast as well, a few months ago?
Yeah, I think about a month ago. I really should remember this because on the same day that Batman vs Superman came out, so it's really cool.
Yeah, he's one of them geeks, he's a geek.
One of the cool people.
He was what was it, Dragon
Ball Z.
Yeah, he's like,
just
do you know
record,
that? And I'm like, that could be the statement of the day. Then.
Just for the record, Luke has never watched Dragon Ball Z, which I think is...
Sounds like a porny to me.
Everything sounds like...
Ballsies.
Everything sounds like...
Like my smoking hot balls.
But yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, so...
That's my shit.
Put it in the comment section, whether you have heard of it or watched it.
Yeah, if you...
Just be like, yes, I know, or no, I've never heard of it.
Everyone's seen Dragon Ball Z.
Apart from me.
Apart from you. So you got to sort that out.
Yeah. Right, let's get on to me asking you questions. So obviously you're not an LJ, nor was Chris King. Content creation. So as you know, being part of SBS Elite, trainers find it hard to come up with content ideas as it is, and then as a result they find it even harder to actually put out content. Now you put content out on a daily basis, whether it's on Facebook posts and obviously your main thing like big blog posts. And so if you could talk about, do you have a process where you sort of get these ideas, how you sort of track them, and then how you actually execute on a day-to-day basis? Like, do you have routines of what you do to actually put out that much content?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in terms of like actually coming up with ideas, it's very simple. I always have, I haven't got my phone on me right now, but it's not very professional. But like Google Notes or even Evernote, I just have that on me, and literally, when I'm going for a walk, if I'm at the gym, anytime you can have a random idea, I just jot it down onto Evernote or Google Keep or any of these other like Apple Notes or whatever it's called. Yeah, just anything. Even if you think it's silly, just note it down, because eventually what happens is the idea that may have started off as a silly idea, it sort of coalesces into something else when you get another idea that sort of merges with. So just take notes of any ideas that you have. What I personally do is on my Evernote, I actually have a tag, so blog ideas, a separate notebook with all my ideas, and it's literally, I think I've got over 100 ideas that I've had that, I'm not always going to write all of them. And sometimes it's just a case of, I may take, say, one sentence and use that for a bigger blog post or even a Facebook post. So yeah, that's one way to sort of just capture ideas. Mm-hmm. Secondly, which is, I've been doing a lot of this recently and it's just worked fantastically, is ask your audience, because I think they're the people that you're writing for, they're the people you're trying to help. Mm-hmm. And the 2 blog posts that I have coming out this month, one of the 2, it's actually stemmed from 2 questions I had on programming, and one guy messaged me saying that he's trying to be flexible with his diet, mm-hmm. and what happens is that he ends up overeating. So I've written how you can overcome that, and how you can structure your diet. to reduce variability and be successful with it, basically. So yeah, ask your audience, post on Facebook, send them an email if you've got an email list. That's a really great resource to have.
Are you one of these guys where you need to get out of your, do you have different environments for where you write, for where you create ideas, or are you just like...
Yeah, for me, I'm very structured. Like, I have to have some semblance of routine.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning I'm at Starbucks, my local Starbucks, and I'll go there even if I don't actually write.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a whole cliche of showing up and all that bullshit.
Showing up what counts.
Yeah,
it's not about the winning. No, it is about
winning. It is about winning. But even these cliches, they do stem from some truth.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Even
though
they've
been tarnished.
Manipulated and, but yeah, so have some sort of routine. And
so what time are you getting up in the morning?
I'm usually,
because if you don't get up before 3 a.m, then you're not hustling.
Yeah, you're not hashtag hustle mode and beast mode and all the other insipid Instagram tags that people tend to use.
But you have like insomnia as well, don't you?
Yeah, I suffer. I suffer. I suffer. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's emotional.
If you are on the couch, put your feet back. We can discuss this.
But so I actually, through various periods of time, I go through bouts of insomnia, which can be seen as a positive and a negative. Positive, I have more time to create stuff.
Yeah.
And negative, then I'm just like wrecked for the rest of the day. Yeah. So, but yeah, find everyone has like a period of time in the day when they're really creative. For me personally, it's in the morning. So between 4 a.m. to about 10 a.m. And that isn't just me going beast mode and hashtag and just writing from 4 to 10. It's just I'll wake up at 4, I'll make a cup of coffee, just chill out a little bit, meditate, which I've been doing a lot recently. It's helped a lot in terms of just focusing stuff. I actually have an article on that on my site, Physiqonomics.com.
We'll link out.
Shameless little plug there. But yeah, so have some structure, and this is where you're gonna have to experiment and find what works best for you. Some people work better in the morning. Some people find that they're more creative in the afternoon. One thing that I've found is that don't force it. What I mean by that is you're gonna have to have some discipline in terms of, don't tell yourself you want to write content and be like, oh, I don't feel like it, and just like no. Then just I just don't feel like it right now. I just not do anything. What I mean by having some sort of like, not forcing it, is that if you find that you work, you're very creative in the morning and you can get all your work done, your writing done, content creation, etc. in the morning, then have that time designated to getting content out and not having distractions, and everything that you're doing is trying to write content, and what other creative demands you may have, and then you'll find that you'll go through this. By the afternoon, you may start to not be as creative, and you may just want to chill with it a little bit. And I'm probably gonna get shot for saying this, but watch TV or do something which doesn't require you to be constantly hustling. I know, like everyone nowadays gets like a fucking boner over. If you're not hustling 24/7, you're some loser.
You don't want it.
You don't
need it
bad enough. Exactly.
You don't want it bad enough.
It's just ridiculous. It's a silly sentiment. It's just the whole thing of like, oh, I can sleep when I'm dead. No, please go fuck yourself. Like, you will be dead if you don't sleep. But yeah, so it's just one of the things where have some structure. Whenever you're creative, some people may be creative in the afternoon. Some people may be creative in the evenings.
So find out what's best for you, and then try and keep a routine.
Yeah, and don't dismiss any ideas. Like, I get ideas from comic books, from Game of Thrones, from TV shows I've watched, books that I've read, conversations that
But that's even like, I've been watching Peaky Blinders. I'm like, they got a good business model. It might be illegal, but the principles are the principles.
Yeah, exactly.
To make more money, they're having more revenue streams. They're scaling the business. They're going out, rather than Birmingham, they're going to London. So it's looking at, if you're just always in that mode of work.
Exactly. And this also leads into probably the most important thing. Look, I love fitness. I love nutrition. I love training. I love programming. I love working with clients. But every time on social media, all I see fit pros talk about is lifting weights and chicken breast and nutrition and shit. I know for a fact that that's not all you guys do. And if it is, then I feel sorry for you and you really need to sort shit out. But, because you're going to get inspiration from so many different places. But if all you're doing is confining yourself to this, like, just this fitness space, you're going to cut yourself off to so many other ideas.
Becoming into like this fitness bubble, which most people
Yeah,
do.
exactly. And you're never going to have any original ideas because you're just going to be regurgitating what someone else is saying. So if you actually, read something which isn't specifically fitness related, you're going to find so many sort of ways to make your writing content more interesting, by way of storytelling or a good anecdote, a metaphor, whatever, which has actually scientifically been proven to people respond to that stuff, like storytelling, metaphors. You can take the most advanced thing and distill it into a little parable or whatever, and people are going to understand that more than reeling off some
trying to write
PhD.
stuff
Yeah,
to
exactly.
sound smart.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
I could be like, this person knows what they're talking about,
Yeah.
but I don't have a clue what they're
But
talking
yeah,
about.
I mean, your peers may be like, hey, that dude's pretty smart.
Yeah.
But then your audience, the guys that are actually going to give you money or going to follow you, are going to be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about protein synthesis. Like, But then, so it's one of
Anything else with writing where you think how you can find your voice through words? How have you found, because you've got your own style. And I know we're going a bit over M-Dog, but we'll keep with it.
Okay, so I'm going to give a shout out to John Romanello, who, if you know me, it's like...
Guy with the purple hair at the moment.
Yeah, he's like going through different colours. But no, I mean, when I first got into writing, and I'm actually very, very thankful for this, when I first got into the fitness space, John was the first person that, Roman, it feels awkward calling him John, but Roman, he was the first person's writing that I came across, and it had a massive impact on the way that I write, because he was just being himself. His personality, it literally felt like you were sitting down with this dude and having a conversation with him. It wasn't big words and, it was personality. Even if you read his stuff now, you can, I mean, he wrote an awesome post the other day talking about, not the other day, sorry, a month or two back, but everyone should go read that post. He basically told a story, like a fantasy story, about this princess who loses weight, but then she's not happy with the weight loss, right? Mm. And it was something which, even though he told it in a story format, which was hilarious, the way he told it as well. The underlying message was that his client, which she's lost weight now, but she's not happy with the weight loss. Mm. So then they sort of gained a bit more muscle, and he's told this all in like a story format, and I just thought it was brilliant. I mean, that's the thing where you read that now, if you're just someone who's a fan, or just the average Joe who's reading fitness content, you read a post on protein synthesis and macros and whatnot, and then you read this post on, this fairy tale sort. That's what I was looking for, fairy tale.
The principles are still there. It's
yeah,
just
but he's told it in a way where it's
user friendly,
exactly.
So someone who's educated can read it and enjoy it, and
like,
someone who's not as educated can read it, enjoy it, and
just
grasp
need to stop taking themselves so fucking seriously. Like everyone's all like, oh, if I don't, reel off 10 different studies and
if I don't have references in my articles,
and just use the biggest words that can.
It's just knowing your audience as well, and not trying to
just having some
fun
with
for
it.
everyone.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is just read, and don't read freaking, like by all means, if you get a boner over science textbooks and what, go for it. But also at the same time, the thing is, you're never going to improve your writing if you're just reading
textbooks.
Yeah, like non-fiction, like self-help books, like science textbooks and shit. Go read fiction, like fantasy, because those guys can actually write. Like if you read, George,
they tell stories better than anyone.
That will teach you how to write and how to actually find your voice better than reading a study or another blog post written by another whoever.
Someone who's smarter
than
been there
than we'll ever be. But yeah,
cool. Some good tips there. Adam's going to be back on the next episode, and we're going to discuss keto diets, but we can't really discuss it in full in 10 minutes. But we've already got a plan for them, so you're going to have to wait and see. Till next time, see you soon.
See, this is perfect. Because see, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, we could have said something like, find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
see, now everyone that watches Dragon Ball Z will get that. And
I'm going to YouTube
and they're probably laughing right now, and this is probably the most likes ever in the history of...
Because Dragon Ball Z's.
Because it's just epic.
I did have sweet and sour chicken ball Z's for lunch. So that's the only ball Z's I know.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.